Hi, I'm Crystal.
Hi, I'm Liv.
I'm Donut.
And I'm Karin. And you're listening to the Rom-Com Detectives.
Welcome to Rom-Com Detectives, episode 58, part 2 of our episode, The Way of the World, where we break down Red John's footsteps. This episode is a direct continuation of our discussion that began in episode 57.
I think overall, in this episode, there were a lot of steps along the way where I wasn't sure if Red John was doing it or if Hardy was doing it, and if it was intentional or an accident. And I don't know, there were a couple of those where I feel like it could go either way.
And I feel like from Red John's perspective, he's probably just like, oh, this is why I shouldn't work with somebody, because you don't know what they're going to do on their own, right?
And we never really get a full idea of whether this was actually him grooming Hardy to be more important, or if it was just him using another pawn.
Yeah.
Because the title seems to imply that Hardy is trying to be like Red John, but we don't really ever get a sense from Red John whether he cares anything about Hardy.
Yeah. I mean, Jane says himself, he's just using you. You're just a tool, right? So they show Jane at Rosalind's house listening to her play piano. He's drinking tea from her tea set, which is important later, I feel like. And then the next morning, Van Pelt comes in and she's got a hit from Minali's suggestion. I was just like, wow, tech in these days. Is it really good or really bad? Because she had to run a search overnight before she got but she finds something for cut iron properties. And then they show Jane exiting Rosalind's house as Lisbon and Hardy arrive, and she's telling him about a farm property purchased by this company and that they also purchase construction supplies, which explains the pine and the nails and stuff like that. And then Jane is eager to go, and Hardy tells them which judge is the quickest to sign their warrant, but he doesn't want to do the warrant. And at this point, we learned that this is all staged already, right, between Jane and Lisbon. So it's interesting to rewatch the episode, because when I first saw it, I'm pretty sure I just thought they were actually fighting.
Oh yeah.
I did too. I never see it the first. Well, maybe in the later seasons I start to see the pattern, but in the earlier seasons I definitely did not think that they would stage a fight. And so then it's so delightful to go back and watch it again, and you see Lisbon's kind of embellishing, right, and being if he so much as jaywalks, shoot him, and she enjoyed that.
And I do think I wonder when Jane talks to Lisbon about pulling these cons because he knows she's a bad liar. I wonder if there's a little bit of you can use real feelings to make yourself, because I feel like these feelings are real between them. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier with Lisbon maybe thinking she can change Jane and make sure he doesn't do bad things, and Jane trying to, be a little bit threatening, which maybe isn't as real. But I feel like these feelings between them and this conflict about what to do when they catch Red John is so real, and that's why the con works on Hardy and on all of us watching for the first time, because we're oh, this is a sensible, this kind of conflict has been building for a while and it makes sense. I also think if we catch Red John, he's not walking anywhere is an objectively funny line, and it cracks me up I know it's supposed to be serious, but I always crack up every single time I hear it. And the fact that they planned this without telling the others, apparently, though. They're playing
Yes.
con.
Yes.
The others are thinking that they're in danger.
I wrote that down too. I was just why did she not tell anyone? That doesn't seem very smart.
They could have saved Cho and Rigsby a lot of time trying to track down that elephant.
And it would have been safer.
And their blood pressure is probably up because they're Jane and Lisbon are going to die. And meanwhile, Jane and Lisbon are giggling behind their pants, catching Hardy.
As soon as Lisbon takes off, Jane tells Hardy, let's go. And he convinces him to go to the property that they have. Although, I don't know, how did he have the address? Hardy. Because didn't Lisbon just give sports? I don't know. We'll just assume
Maybe
that.
Jane had
It
it.
was a group
Jane-
text.
So I thought it was interesting that Jane seemed to sleep over at Rosalind's house. Do you think he was like just there, like guarding her, waiting to see if Red John showed up, kind of thing, or
Would
is
he
it?
have
Yeah, I
only
thought of
slept
it as like
though?
a guarding thing.
Yeah.
I hope he was
And-
taking down the smiley face and we just weren't seeing it.
That was in her bedroom. Though.
That would have been a good shot though. Like honestly, like I thought like, you know, a scene of him scrubbing the paint away, or I'm assuming it was probably paint. I don't know.
Jane-
It
Script
was
Jane-
pretty cool.
Yeah, you're right.
Jane would not have stood on her bed.
Jane would have gotten a step ladder.
A ladder.
That's the difference. That's the only difference between Jane and Red John is that Jane would never.
Makes all the difference in my mind.
But Jane hasn't cleaned up his own smiley face in his own house, so it would have been very poetic, I think, to see him clean up this one.
A smiley face, yeah.
Like someone else's before his own, right? Because like
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Cho and Rigsby arrive at a convenience store with the elephant, and the store owner sees it, and he immediately recognizes. He says he's not going to take it. He's not going to give it refunds. And I love this part because he's like, Cho's like, "Oh, do you remember selling it to a guy with cigarettes around Thanksgiving?" He's like, "No. How would I do that? Am I an elephant?" It was so funny. Just Cho's reaction, like, "Oh yeah, I guess it's not."
I like that a lot though, because like there's so many times, like not just in the Mentalist, but you know, just in their genre where they're questioning people that remember like just the oddest details in such specificity, knowing that it's relevant to the case. So I appreciated that nod.
But he has surveillance tape, so he lets them go see it. And then it goes back to Jane and Hardy. They're arriving at that property, and Hardy's got a shotgun. And when I was watching it, I was like, wow, so Jane is like fine with Hardy just having a shotgun. They suspect him as being the guy who's got Maya, and yet he doesn't seem very concerned.
And
Yeah,
Jane's going in first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Jane's
think
going
he
in
was
first.
waiting. I think he was waiting for Hardy to like knock him out or stop him, and like he was making it easy for Hardy to make the con, to sell the con. That was my suspicion, because if he goes in, you know, he doesn't want to fight Hardy because he doesn't want to win that fight, and so he wants to make it look as
He's the bait, right? And he's fine
Yeah.
with whatever happens.
Ugh.
but it definitely made me uncomfortable too.
Yeah, and
I'm sorry,
it
go
made sense of earlier when Hardy was asking him if he carried a gun too. So like it's like he was already like scoping him out, and I liked realizing that in hindsight.
Yeah, foreshadowing.
But yeah, so it goes back to Cho and Rigsby, and they're looking at the surveillance tape, and oh, it's Dumar, and he's Sheriff Hardy. Did you guys spot Jimmy Gadd in this scene?
No.
Because I saw him in the IMDb credits, and now that we know what he looks like because he's been on the TV police, I was watching for him, and he's the convenience store customer just before Sheriff Hardy.
That's so specific.
But so Hardy and Jane enter the house. They show a full teacups that sits on the table, and it's the same china pattern as the one that Rosalind has that Jane was drinking from earlier. So that's like a clue that they're on the right track, that Roy has been here. Hardy finds a door in the floor, and they head down. And again, like Jane goes first, right? He's going into this dark basement with Hardy with a shotgun behind him. And it's so weird too, because at this point Hardy's not even trying, right? He has the shotgun like on his shoulder or something. He's not even like aiming it or anything. So I mean, if Jane had turned around and looked at him, he would have known right away, right? Or he would have given himself away right away. But Jane looks in a door and he sees Maya's alive. And then he turns around and Hardy's pointing the gun at him. And he mentions Orville Tanner. Was Orville Tanner mentioned before? Like, he was mentioned in the Red John's Friends episode, right?
Correct. Yeah, he was in jail with Jared Renfrew. They were cellmates.
Yeah, okay. And so Jane confirms that he was Red John's accomplice in his first killing. And then he says that he was caught and he died in jail 10 years ago. And then Hardy reveals that he's Tanner's son and that this is their old family property. So I was confused about that because they found this place because Cut Iron Properties bought this property. So, like, I didn't.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wonder why he sold it to Red John. Like that's a needless paper trail.
Yeah. So I was confused by that.
But it made
Why
sense of
hadn't why hadn't they followed this lead before investigating Orville Tanner?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Doesn't hold up to scrutiny.
It doesn't. But like, so Dumar's a really odd name, but it's almost better than Ed Hardy, because I was like, this was like the peak of Ed Hardy clothes too. And I was like, did they do that on purpose? Like, why would they go with Ed Hardy?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Why don't you explain to listeners who Ed Hardy was?
So was he a designer? But it's a style of clothing that was like really popular in the 2000s, like up until 2000. What, this was aired in 2009, and I mean, it was very like tattoo inspired, and like I think like there was a certain like I don't know, subgenre that was like really into it, and like was it like gym bros kind of thing of the day. But so when I heard his name was Ed Hardy, I just kept thinking about Ed Hardy shirts. Like it was they were popular along with like, was it Affliction and like all of those? I don't know.
So like
I don't-
MMA kind of stuff.
Yeah. I don't
Oh
wear
yeah. Okay, I remember these. I had to Google it, but now I know.
That's so funny because they said that they have to run names through some kind of checker, right? Before they can use them. Maybe it's like common enough that it's like, oh yeah, it's fine. But this guy Dumar, he's like completely delusional, right? He's like, he believes that him and Maya are gonna. It sounded like he was intending to marry her and keep her in captivity until like she came around, and so he could let her out because she'd been totally brainwashed. But ooh, this guy was like, he lived up to the villain I had already had in my head. He was so creepy at it. But when Jane asks what Red John gets out of it, he tells him that he got Emma and he wanted Jane really badly, and that they had this whole plan to lure Jane to the farm and they were going to have fun with him. But then this is where he mentioned that Rosalind popped up, and so I guess that he's saying that she's a wrench in this thing. So I don't know.
But if their plan was to lure him to the farm anyway, Rosalind got him to the farm.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting, like, how they characterize Red John's plan for Jane at this point, because, you know, I don't know if we get a sense of, like, he seems to be equating Jane and Maya in a way in his head, and I wonder if Red John's plan was to keep Jane around longer than just, you know, the torture and kill type thing. Because I don't know if at this point Red John could take and kill Jane anytime, and so I was trying to kind of figure out what the plan was here, because I feel like, you know, luring Jane to this farmhouse, like, I don't know, I just feel like Red John could like get Jane another way whenever he wanted, so it just didn't really make sense to me that this was like an important plan in his, you know, plans for Jane, if that makes sense.
See, this is why I'm glad I'm glad I don't write in TV, because all this kind of stuff, I would just be like, how do I make all this make sense?
Right, because like Red John likes Jane investigating him. Like, he gets like pleasure out of playing that game. So the idea that he would this early in the game attempt to, you know, capture Jane for some undisclosed purpose just doesn't really make sense to me.
So it might be like what you're saying earlier, or was it Donuts, that maybe he had a different plan and he wasn't telling Hardy everything. So
yeah.
But Livbon arrives. Jane is not happy though, because he says that she was supposed to wait until Red John showed up. So this is where they reveal that, you know, it was staged earlier and they had this whole plan to like use Jane as bait for Red John to show up. She says that he's probably long gone and she couldn't take the chance. She was basically worried about Jane being in this house with Hardy because, and I mean, who can blame her, right? But Hardy wanted to know, how did you know it was me? And he tells him because, oh, it's the nicotine. Rosalind said that you smoke a lot, that Dumar smoked a lot. And then he talked about, you staged the break-in to plant the camera. So how did he know that?
Maybe he just assumed.
Yeah,
Just
who else would
assume?
it have been?
I guess, but he finds the key to the door, and Hardy laughs at Lisbon, and he's like telling her, "If you surrender, I'll convince Red John to kill you quickly." And then the door the door above them closes, and then Hardy uses that distraction to fight with Lisbon, and like it goes to it was so weird. It goes switches suddenly to green night vision, and then it shows like them fighting on the surveillance like TV upstairs. And so I guess what they're saying here is that Red John is upstairs, right?
Yeah.
Be- yeah, he closed the
But
door.
then how
And
would Red John get away?
well, I mean,
Like, it's crazy.
they show like a
Nope.
door closing, right? So
Yeah.
he shuts
just
the
ran.
door and then he runs. So yeah, I don't
But
know.
yeah, I guess he didn't have a car there or anything, right? They would have seen that. I wonder where he went.
Yeah,
And they
I
don't
don't
even
know.
try to do a manhunt for him.
No,
like, they don't
they
even
don't.
attempt like
Uh-uh.
a fugitive style. Like, I mean, they're out in the middle of the woods. Like, where is he going? Like,
They can't catch him
Yeah.
yet.
That's what
We need more
I think
seasons.
But I wonder, I mean, they said he was building something in the area. I wonder if he was building this underground place to keep Maya.
Oh, maybe.
And maybe they had also built some other hidey holes on the property.
Maybe, yeah.
But I mean, that's all speculation.
There's a lot of underground cellars in this TV show. I've never seen like a door hatch that opened up. I guess it's a California thing. But so
it must be.
I was frustrated with Jane for being so hard on Lisbon for ruining everything when, because of all these details, right? That Red John was there and like they could have still searched for
They
him.
were
And like,
so close.
yeah. And so it didn't ruin everything.
Yeah, and he took the instead of taking the opportunity to like run upstairs and see if they could catch Red John, they had to like, I mean, I love this conversation. It's like my favorite conversation in the entire show, probably. But like, I was like, you guys need to have this conversation like tomorrow, and you need to catch Red John now because he was here, and we all know he was here.
Yeah, come on, priorities. But yeah, I mean, what did you guys think about how he looks when he watches Lisbon hugging Maya after they open the door and rescue her? He just looks
wanted
kind
a
of
hug.
dazed. Yeah.
He also wanted a hug. He was like, why is this kidnapped girl getting my deserved hug?
I guess how I interpret it is it's kind of like a look of envy, like slash like his upsetness, right? He's watching Lisbon hug this girl, and he's just like, well, we saved this girl, but I don't have Red John, kind of thing. So he's
Yeah.
like struggling with his disappointment, I feel like, maybe.
Yeah, I think for a lot of these, like saves, like you see him almost like thinking like this should have been me, or like why can't things get better for it? It's like it's not that he's upset that like, somebody else was saved. Like I think he's happy about that, but then it's just like that like feeling both happy for them while also realizing that like he's still experiencing loss at the same time.
Yeah. It's like a struggle.
I also think like when you look at good versus evil, like kind of as an entity, like the evil people, they get ahead by not having to, they can plan all these steps ahead because they don't have to care about these little side quests essentially. And I think with Jane is like bound by the fact that he is ultimately a good person, like even though he has some things about him that we maybe don't like as much. And, of course they're going to make sure they can save the girl because like that's the immediate danger, even if that means that they could maybe let the girl die and get justice and catch Red John, but like they can't have that kind of foreplanning because they have to deal with these immediate issues that Red John puts in front of them. And that's what makes them good, but it also makes them slower because they can't treat people like pawns like Red John is.
But I have a critique about that later. But let's get through the next scene. But so he's staring at the camera and he's just kind of shell shocked because he's just like, he was here and we lost him. And then Lisbon's trying to tell him, well, we saved her life and we got Hardy and he's going to tell us what we want to know. And he's like not having it. He's just like, he's not going to tell us anything. And I have to agree with him. Like, I don't see how they think that they're going to, maybe
Yeah.
Lisbon thinks Cho's going to squeeze him and we'll have everything.
But Hardy was a fanatic, right? Like he was, yeah, I agree with Jane. Like he just was never going to be in the right mindset or have the right motivator to share any relevant information.
I think Jane, like, I think you can't know until you try. And we see later in the show people who may be viewed as fanatics get, give information. And I think that they definitely could have gotten something out of him. Would it have been Red John's name? Probably not. But like a little piece of information that could have led them forward. I don't think he would have been a useless witness, I guess. And I do think also sometimes people who are fanatics they're not smart enough. Like I found it interesting, the conversation where, essentially Hardy was fooled by this very kind of see-through plot. And I think that they might be able to get him again. But I can see why Jane, in the position he is in that moment, thinking it's all over and I've got nothing.
Yeah. He's just falling into like a pit of despair, right?
His own dark spiral.
I feel like you're right though, because Hardy had this like weird, like overconfident kind of vibe to him, right? So I can see where he would just be like too overconfident and he'll let something slip because he's not quite as careful as Red John. But yeah, so Jane is upset with Lisbon and he's saying that she should have waited, and he says, like, we agreed. And so they had, I guess, a whole plan to use him as bait, and that she was supposed to come in and get Red John after he showed up. And when you think about it, like, it was pretty close because Red John was upstairs, right? So if she had just waited a little bit more.
Or if she'd searched the house. Like, I was surprised that she just went in so confident that everybody was in the cellar.
Or why didn't they call their whole team there?
Yeah, if they had just told, like, they could have surrounded the
plan. House. Instead, you have Cho and Rigsby searching surveillance camera tapes and Van Pelt doing whatever. It's just
Did Jane think that Red John would come like later? Like, did he not think he was already there at all?
And this might be reading into it, but I do think at this point, like, we don't really know the deal with anybody, but like, I feel like we're relatively confident Jane and Lisbon maybe aren't Red John, but like, they could think that Cho, Rigsby, or Van Pelt could be Red John and not want to keep the circle tight. I was trying to like give an explanation for like why they wouldn't call on a bunch of backup, and I assumed that maybe Red John would have figured it out if they had a lot of backup.
So this conversation though, like Liv, you want to talk a little bit about, because basically Jane is making it clear that he doesn't care if he dies. He just wants to because she says, like, you'd have been dead, and he says, but you'd have had Red John. And just the look on his face, it's just so heart-wrenching because he just looks so sad and so upset that he was so ready to just give himself up just so they could catch him. He's so disappointed.
Like, since I just finished the series, like, my head is in the later seasons, and I forgot how dark season 1 Jane is. And, I love a suffering man, so that's okay. But I do feel bad for him.
Yeah, I literally told Crystal before she was like, oh, do you maybe want to be a consultant again? And I was like, if we do this episode, I have to like keep it together about this scene, because I feel like I could write a dissertation on this scene at this point. I like remember the first time I ever posted anything about The Mentalist, it was a commentary on I Think You Choose Life, which interestingly enough, like some of the scripts say they think she's saying, I think you'd choose life, like you would choose life. Sometimes they say you choose life, and I think those are two very different sentences. But that aside, I think it's The Mentalist is a show about a mentalist, but I do think this is one of the best reads of anybody, and it comes from Lisbon to Jane rather than Jane on somebody else. And I just I'm not to go like into the next part of the episode too much, but I think the fact that they have this conversation and Jane is so vehemently saying, you're wrong, like, I would die to catch Red John. And then he immediately, proves her right that he cares about her life. And then at the very end with the scene with the orange, where he's peeling the orange and is proving that he cares about these little moments that just make life worth it. I just think it's such a good observation on her part. And I also like that she turns it around and says, not only do I think you're lying about yourself, but you're only thinking about yourself, and we've developed this friendship and you're willing to put it aside to catch your revenge. And I think there's like a truth to that. I think he is willing to set aside their friendship and, the team's friendship. But I don't think that Red John is of ultimate importance to him. I think he proves here that he at least values Lisbon's life over catching Red John, and maybe even something else. We don't know yet, but I don't know. And I just think the answer of like, oh, you shouldn't be angry because it's just the way of the world is such like a cop out, like he's just trying to like get out of the conversation because I think he realizes how like right she is in that moment. But I don't know, I just like I love that this theme of the show, like obviously it gets pulled through the rest of the seasons, but it's so cool how they state it so emphatically in season 1 and then just continue with that idea of like, will he continue to choose life? Won't he? What's important in life? I don't know. I just find it really profound. So thank you for allowing me my
Thank you for coming to her live talk.
So the Red John, how Red John is treated and approached throughout the series gets a lot of criticism from some fans because they say that, Bruno didn't know who Red John would be. And so it's just leading us on. But I read an interview where Bruno said that these Red John episodes aren't about Red John. They're about revealing Jane.
Yeah.
And I think it just does it so beautifully, and it shifts the whole focus of these episodes.
That's what I say all the time to people who are like
Right.
disappointed about Red John. They're like, oh my God, he was just this guy. It was so disappointing. And I'm just like, well, the show is about Jane. It's not about Red John. He's just like we never see him until the end. Right. So I don't know. People just, I think, lose focus. They start focusing on the wrong character. You're supposed to be watching Jane and his emotional journey. Right. So.
Yeah, I think people think, oh, Jane, will he be healed should he take revenge? Should he not? Will he be healed by revenge? Will he not? Like that, all of that doesn't matter to these people. And that always shocks me that they set that aside and they, focus on, I think, Jane's darkness, which is interesting, but it doesn't make him like Red John. And I don't know. I just love how they didn't, when he's like, you're a small man, you'll die that way, is like still to me like the most iconic thing that they could have done is, discount Red John at the end and have Jane be like, actually the most interesting thing about you is I didn't know who you were, but now that I see you, you suck. I just think that was the best move that they could have made.
So the thing about this scene that I was drawn most to was what Lisbon says. She says, can't you see that people care about you and need you? And so to me, it was just like Lisbon saying, I care about you and I need you, right? So that's how I interpret it. And she's using other people as like a kind of like a buffer so that she doesn't have to see it because Lisbon has trouble with feelings too. So but yeah, I agree. Like this is a really, really powerful scene, and I really liked it. But so they show Cho and Rigsby leaving. A crime scene tech loads the gun. This is the gun that Jane uses to kill Hardy. He loads it into the back of the SUV, and Lisbon approaches Maya and says that after paperwork, they'll take her home. And then right nearby is Dumar on a gurney. So it's like, okay, this girl was just rescued from this evil man's captivity. Yeah. And just have her just standing there. Like, feet
and who left a handcuff key? Who left a handcuff key in his pocket? Like, you've got to be kidding me.
He's a freaking sheriff. Surely you search him for handcuff keys. Oh.
I was surprised they didn't send Maya with Cho and Rigsby.
Yeah.
Get her out of there. Like, oh my God.
Get her out of there. Why is she standing right there? Like, and like, she's so chill too. I would have been like, please get me away from this man. I don't want to see him anymore. It's just
I actually think she played it a little too chill. Like, I don't know if they were going for shock, but it wasn't even really shock. She was just kind of like, yeah, I'll hang out while you do this paperwork. I'm like, girl, you were just kidnapped.
I got a blanket. I'm good.
I strive to be that chill if I'm ever kidnapped.
Life goals.
oh my goodness. But yeah, so Dumar wakes up and he unlocks his handcuff. He shoots a deputy and then he aims at Lisbon, but he doesn't kill her right away. He's got to pause for dramatic effect.
Well, of course.
Jane needs time to grab the gun.
Which he did very quickly.
Yes.
Because it wasn't that long of a pause, right?
Yeah.
He was ready to go.
And shooting a shotgun is hard. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever shot a shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
I have shot a shotgun. That thing, it hurts. It's
The
awful.
kickback,
Like,
yeah.
it's not a good time. So would not recommend. And the fact that Jane just figured it out, like, I guess he's a genius, but
It doesn't even look like he's holding it properly. He's just like, point it that direction and this thing shoots it.
And you would think that the first thing the crime scene techs do is like unload it or something. Right?
Yeah, right. Oh.
Yeah, like secure the gun and take away the handcuff keys are like steps 1 and 2 there.
or to have someone at least watching the, kidnapper. Like, everyone's just like turned around looking elsewhere. Like, we don't even know he's like really unconscious and you guys are just ignoring him.
I wonder if Tim and Owen are going to talk about this because I thought it was so funny that on last week's episode, Owen was like, oh, I was so embarrassed for us that the body was like right there and we didn't know. So funny. Jane shoots Hardy. He throws it down, the gun down in shock, and he approaches Hardy and he has like the most like evil villain death ever.
Yeah, he does.
Did you have closed caption? Wait, did you have closed captioning on?
No.
In the end, it just goes snorts.
But oh my god, it was so over the top, like his like quivering
Uh-huh.
But then he does like a evil laugh and then he dies. I was like, what time of night is this? Because like they take Maya home and it's like broad daylight already. So how far away was she? Isn't this in the same town? Or actually no, it was at a farm, yeah. So maybe
the paperwork
away.
Took a really long time to do.
Away. Yeah.
Yeah, I can just see this. Oh, I'm sorry. Now I gotta fill out paperwork for the shooting too.
More paperwork.
She actually uses like a felt pen instead of a ballpoint pen. She's like, "Oh, these forms aren't filled out in triplicate. Gotta go again."
So they take Maya home, and Jane watches the reunion from afar. The father nods at him in thanks, and then Jane walks off. I guess it was like an orange grove down below the house.
They have random orange trees in Florida. I don't know if it's the same in California, but that did not strike me as weird. Like, we have, like, when I lived in Florida, we had just like random orange trees. You could just like grab an orange.
But wasn't it like several orange trees? So wasn't it like, I mean, California grows oranges, so maybe like they just live next to an orchard or something.
I don't know. I had a similar thought where I was like, where is he?
Yeah.
Where did he go?
Yeah.
I don't know why I felt like it was like a tree on the side of a road. Maybe I'm like blind.
No, I think the
what's
house was on a
implied.
hill or something. So that's why I thought maybe it was an orchard because it looked very like well like kept, like the landscaping and everything. So, but I do want to note that when we were having that whole thing with Scratch about that AI orange Jane,
oh my god,
this was when I was like, oh my god, there's actually a scene of Jane eating an orange, and I went back to this episode and I took a screenshot.
You mean you brought that on us?
No, he had already done it, and so like that whole orange, that whole AI, it was when Scratch gained the level that turns you orange, and so like he made some kind of AI generated like that monstrosity of Jane's face on the orange or whatever. And then I was like
horrific.
I was like, this is a real thing. Okay. But yeah, so that's the end of the episode. I thought this is a very solid finale for me. Despite everything that we have lovingly picked apart in this episode, it was a very good finale for me. So
I agree. I think that it pushed the story far enough along without obviously like solving the entire series mystery. And the stakes, whenever they bring in like a live person that's missing, it's just like it ups the stakes a little bit more. And so I thought it was good.
there were very few Red John episodes in season 1. I think the first one, and even that one was a copycat, and then there's the Red John's friends, and then there's this finale. So yeah.
I think like Simon Baker's like intensity in this episode really sold it. Like I think season 1 he's a little bit more intense just generally, but I think the way that Jane acted a little bit more chaotic, went a little bit above like overboard, I think it is like a preview of how he'll just continue to do that as the stakes get higher and higher, as he gets more and more frustrated. And I think Donuts put it really well, where it's like a really good stepping stone on our journey to like, not solve all the issues, but like give us enough that we don't feel like we are done with the show and it's not giving us enough, and it's not giving us too much information. Like we want to come back again and see more of it.
Yeah. Well, they gave us a happy ending along with there was a murder, but we have a happy ending for the other sister. And
Yeah.
so it leaves you with warm fuzzies.
Until you start thinking about the fact that this girl has to live without her twin.
Well, yeah.
Thinking about that. Like
We're just
the
looking
entire
at this
family.
This moment is a good moment.
Yeah.
One happy moment that Jane gets to watch and think, why couldn't this happen to me? And we all are like, so it's like, we're like, oh, this is so happy. And then Jane's like, clearly it's awful. But yeah, no, I like that there's a little bit of happiness there. Just a little bit.
Little bit.
Like also
really
like,
little bit.
Isn't it crazy that this guy thought he could arrange for a girl's twin sister to be murdered and still was like,
oh my goodness,
utterly convinced she would fall in love with him? And I'm like, this is not the right move. Like just like, I don't know what Red John said to convince him that was the way, but I don't know how he justified that at all.
And this was their long-term bonding project. Dumar and Red John. This is like 8 months in the making. They scoped out the house and he installed the camera and they had this building project together. And
like they're friends enough where he can brag about his blind girlfriend that can cook, right?
Yeah.
I'm just picturing like a montage scene where they're playing like "You've Got a Friend in Me" in the background while he's like putting the camera up. Like they should have released that footage like after they revealed Red John.
It's like beyond even friendship because Dumar's father died, right? And so like Red John steps in as like the father that he lost. Like this is a family.
And they probably, killed the pig together and planted it in that guy's bed. Like this is they really bonded.
I forgot about that. Oh my god.
The music that was played was Bach, and it was Prelude in C major from this book called The Well-Tempered Clavier. And it's unique because it consists of mainly broken chords, which is like instead of having a chord where you hit all the notes at once, you're doing like hitting the notes varied. I don't know if that means anything for Red John, but just for reference, it's called a faulty chord progression by many people, but it actually, a lot of other people see it as genius. So maybe that's like a metaphor for Red John being kind of a mess, but apparently some people on Reddit see him as a genius.
And people on Reddit,
Not to hate on the Reddit people. I'm sure there's a lot of great Reddit people as well.
The real genius here would be Blake Neely, right? Because if he implemented that on purpose, then he's the smart one.
Shout out to Blake Neely.
Okay, cold reading. We already went over this. So at what point does Jane crack the case? And it's basically when Rosalind mentions that he's a heavy smoker. So hot reading. Karen's going to take us through deleted scenes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, there are so many, you guys. So there are 2 deleted scenes that were filmed. So they were included on the DVD. You can probably find them on YouTube. The first one was called Her Wish is My Command. And this is set after Jane interviews Emma's secret boyfriend. He wants to go interview Emma's brother, like right now. He's like, let's go. And Lisbon's like, it's 2 a.m. And Jane says, I'll drive, you can sleep. Why is Manelli looking at me like this? And Lisbon's just like, he's worried about you. And Manelli is like, I am. You know how you are. And she's like, I know how I am. There's no need to worry. Lisbon will keep me in check, right, Lisbon? And Lisbon says, I already told him that. He didn't totally buy it. And Jane says, her word is my command. No, that's not right. Her wish. Her wish is my command. And Manelli's like, this is not funny. And Jane says, everything's funny if you look at it the right way. And so Manelli just gives them this really long look and tells them to be careful. And Manelli leaves, probably to go home and sleep. And so as soon as he leaves, Jane's like looking at Lisbon, is like, all right, let's go. Like, Manelli left, now we can go drive and talk to the brother. And Lisbon's like, no, we're gonna sleep first. Go sleep. So the scene ends with Jane going in to the bullpen. It's dark in the bullpen. No one else is there. He sits on his couch and he sighs.
Huh.
And then it goes into the next scene where they go back to the family and talk to the brother.
Feels a bit on the nose. Like, I can see why they would take that out. Like, it was
Yeah.
just saying stuff that is implied.
Yeah. The other scene also was a Manelli scene.
Poor Manelli on the cutting room floor this
I
season.
know.
Manelli. And I love him too. He should be in there more.
Yeah. So this scene was called Close. After he gives Grace the lead about cut iron, he goes for a walk with Lisbon. They're heading back to her office. And they have some follow-up questions about the camera they found. And then he asks where Jane is. And Lisbon said he's at Rosalind Harker's. And Manelli's like, alone? Is that wise? And Lisbon says,
he's gonna do to her.
I know. And Lisbon's like, we're close, Chief. We're as close as we've ever been to Red John. We need to let Jane do what he does. He needs to be there. He needs to try and get a sense of the man. And Manelli says, you're starting to sound like Jane. Be careful.
That would have been interesting.
So they both end with Manelli like, be careful.
They probably figured that one scene in the they probably figured the one scene was enough in the interrogation room, and then
Yeah, I wish we could have had more Manelli though.
Yeah.
And then throughout the script, there's just a lot of little moments. It kind of feels like in the pilot episode, there he overwrote everything, and then just see what you can take. So in the very beginning, we have Cho's saying it's a coincidence when they find the body, and he explains why he thinks it's not Red John. He says the rest of the MO is absent. Red John works indoors. He doesn't move the body post-mortem. And where's the smiley face? And Van Pelt agrees and says it's a trademark. He wouldn't drop that. And then that's when the smiley face appears.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's like even more impeccable timing than what we saw.
Yeah. Right. They were listening. He had a camera.
They're like, it's too good.
It makes Cho look smarter than he looks in the episode, though.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it is trying, summarizing the Red John's MO for us, because this is the first time we've seen an actual Red John body, apart from Jared Renfrew, which I don't think counts.
Actually, they're commenting on that. What did you guys think? I don't want to get too morbid here, but like they always talk about his specific cutting style, but it looked very rough, right? It didn't really look almost like not even like cutting. It was very, I don't know. It was kind of gross. I mean, it kind of looked like he didn't even use like a knife or anything. It just looked like.
I did not look.
Okay.
From a person who has worked on some of these kinds of cases, like that's, if you are that rough, like there is evidence, like, and the fact that like
Yeah.
I picture Red John as like very clean, like that's the only reason they're not catching him, and the idea that he's like really getting in there, like I don't know, like I would believe that there would be some kind of like particle evidence on that body.
Huh.
Maybe it just wouldn't lead anywhere. Maybe that's like the stuff we're not seeing, but
I always get confused by how the body is covered. I'm like, are they doing that? Like, are the crime scene techs covering the body to help preserve the evidence while they are processing the scene? Or is Red John covering them? Or are they just covering it because then it's harder for, like, it tones down the violence for the viewers at home? Like, I'm just not
Yeah, I don't know.
clear on all of that.
it varies by show for sure. Like, I mean, shows like Bones, like that thing is just out there. Like,
Oh, yeah,
like I always thought
Yeah, it
that
is.
Bones had like the most graphic murder scenes, in my opinion, and they never cover it. I just can't imagine that covering the body would be a good idea, because what if you lose some kind of evidence, and you know, especially doing it before the investigators get there, it just seems surprising to me. So you're probably right that they want to keep it like more PG, I guess, for TV. But the fact that like there are just crazy bodies out there on Bones, you know, makes me think maybe. I don't know, like if you guys have all seen it.
I think it might be a assumed like TV kind of procedural thing, where it's like out of respect for the body, they've or respect for the victim, they've covered them up, kind of thing. But like with Bones, it's like the body's old usually, right? That's why she's called in, because all they have left is bones. So maybe it's a little bit different in those cases. So
trying to think of like Castle or like Elementary, and I don't feel like those bodies are covered either. But
yeah,
maybe I'm like not remembering them right.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it just feels like it's the Red John cases. It's always like a thick plastic covering.
Maybe it's because they know that we would look for consistencies across them. Like they don't.
Do you guys ever think about how long it would take him to like paint her toenails? Like, definitely he would have to like. Sorry, like this is like terrible. But like, like it's not a bad job. Like
it looked kind of bad to me. He like had like all over the skin.
It's blood. Like it's blood. Like that can't be easy to like paint toenails with. Like, does he kill them in other locations? And then it seemed like that body was like killed there, and so how does he have time to do all of these things?
They said that this one was, that's part of the unusualness of this case, though.
She was moved.
Is that he doesn't usually move it.
Yeah.
But he had this nice kill room or you know, detention space for Maya, so.
And I guess there was no fingerprints on that teacup or anything. Like, I don't
know. No. No, he must have been using gloves.
Yeah.
To drink his tea.
No saliva.
And to set up the equipment.
Yeah, no saliva. Yeah, exactly. His mouth was on that thing, and they just
he used
can't
the
get
straw.
anything from that.
Now that I think about it, why didn't they bring like crime scene techs to Rosalind's house to dust for prints in her house?
Because he left his business card. Like he literally left his business card.
Hookups really be like that these days, I guess.
We can't catch him until season 6, so
I just feel like they don't try hard enough.
Or he has like, I guess I don't remember if this is like, I hate I read so much fic, I don't know what's fic and what's in canon in the show, but I feel like, you know, someone explained it as like he obviously has people in the crime tech, so maybe there was all of this stuff and they're just like oopsie daisy losing it, and I guess Livbon and team didn't catch on to that. like oh, where did that teacup go? Oh, we broke it.
Just the worst crime scene tech.
Oh my god, there's this long list of we have a lot more to go through here.
Oh no.
Do you want me to read all this?
Why don't you like go like quickly through it?
Okay, so we have a scene where Livbon talks to Emma's brother Drake while Jane is searching the bedroom upstairs. So we learn things about Drake. He's a teacher. He lives about 50 miles north. He's single. His mother says he's too picky about girls. And he can hear Jane walking upstairs, and he's like looking up like, is he nervous? So they were trying to make him more suspicious. when Jane finds the camera and he confronts Drake, saying that you had opportunity and motive. So Drake pushes back and says, "You people spend too much time in the gutters dredging up filth. You begin to think the whole world is dirty, but it's not. It's you that's become dirty."
Damn.
Wow, Bruno was really fleshing Drake out.
Oh my goodness, he was. And Jane says, "True, sad, but true, but that doesn't make you clean."
Oh, they're starting beef?
Oh my goodness, Jane was going so hard against this family.
I know, this poor family.
I know. On the way, when they're driving to meet Rosalind Harker, there's a little bit of extra dialogue. Jane is being so hopeful that they're, really getting close this time. And Lisbon is trying to talk him down. He says, "You've thought that before now, and you had that exact same bright look in your eye. Red John was a step ahead of us the whole time." And Jane says, "Yes, but this time I don't think so. I think he's made a mistake. He can't possibly have known Rosalind would write to him or that we'd find the letter. It's luck. 1 in a million luck. This woman, Rosalind Harker, has seen Red John Lisbon. She knows him." Of course, just setting us up for a bigger fall there. There's a scene where Hardy gives an update on the search for Maya. Just a quick update saying, "We've torn up the county pretty much. I'm thinking Maya's dead or buried or she's a long way from here. Poor thing."
That's speaking from knowledge.
Right? Oh, yeah, it gives you the ick when you know he knows. This was an interesting extra line in Hardy's monologue where he's talking about what Red John gets out of it. He says he got Emma and you. He wants you so badly. And then he adds, "He didn't like how close you got to him last time," which I wish they had kept in because it's such an interesting angle.
Didn't they go back to like Rigsby's Spanish line? Didn't right? Well, it was what he was yelling when they were down in Mexico. He runs out and he yells at the police and he says, "Red John was just here" in Spanish or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like wish we'd had some of that energy for this episode. Oh, and this one just made me laugh. In the episode, we just see Cho and Rigsby just get in their car and leave. But in the script, they have a bit where Cho is like talking to some of Hardy's deputies and like summarizing the case for them and like saying this is who your boss was kind of stuff. So he's saying like Hardy schemed for months with Red John to abduct the sisters and use them as bait to catch Jane as well. And then the next line is Rigsby saying, "Have a nice day now." And they get in the car and leave.
That's such a Rigsby thing. Oh my goodness. All right, we have a lot of rewatch checklists. Let's get through this. We haven't even got into our quiz yet. Oh my goodness. So just been moments. I like their off-screen agreement on how to catch Red John. It shows like teamwork between them and how they're really gelling together as partners. And then there's that line where she says, "I don't think you mean what you say. I think you choose life." And she says, "Can't you see there are people who care about you and need you? Hint, hint, me." She says,
"You guys remember the way he looks at her too on the steps of Rosalind's house, like actually took my breath away. I don't know if like you guys remember that moment, but he was like gazing for a good like solid 30 seconds. It was really cute."
And then the last thing I wrote down is him choosing Lisbon over Red John. So okay, so locations, no Blue Glass Building, no Pacific Palms, but do you think that this is the Bright Arch location in the beginning? Because it looked a little familiar, like the trees and stuff like that, like the park opening, possibly. Not sure.
Hard to say.
Not sure, yeah.
No punch list update. Okay, so suit watch. I found this really interesting because Jane is wearing a matching gray pinstripe suit with a sky blue shirt and white stripes. And even though several days go by, at least 2 nights, I think that I can remember, he wears the same suit the entire episode.
Oh.
Usually we see him do a lot of costume changes, but he wears the same, he only wears one suit throughout this whole case. And I feel like they're using that to show us that Jane is not going to rest until he solves this case, right? So he's
That's
not
a great detail.
he's not paying any attention to like his own personal hygiene. He's just like a bloodhound. He's on the case. So I like that little bit. No updates to Cheat Watch. Nothing for Revenge Watch. This adds to our Red John timeline because a new victim, Emma Plaskett. And then Lisbon Watch. This, I don't like to say it, but basically it's when Jane does his Lisbon yelling. So I added this one because he does it when he finds the camera. And no updates to Upside Down Badge Watch because she does it correctly.
He also shouts her name at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of Lisbons
We
in
found the
this
body.
episode.
For our Jane's Harometer, we consult with our expert in the bullpen, Expanse Lover. She's our resident Simon hair expert. So we're going to rate Jane's hair, and then I'm going to read Expanse Lover's in-depth hair analysis. So I actually am different from everybody else. I think I gave Jane's hair a 9 in this episode. I really liked his hair. It was very nicely styled and nice waves, and I just like the coloring too. So yeah, I gave him a really high mark for this one.
All right. I gave it a 7 as I thought the back curls looked really good. But overall, it's just kind of a mess. It's like wind blown and messy.
That's so funny because I thought he looked really nicely styled.
Depends on which scene you're looking at,
I
too.
guess.
Sometimes. You should have reference photos for us next time, Crystal.
Yeah. Okay, Liv, what's your rating?
I would give it a 5, and
Oh.
it's because of that stupid curl. It's that curl. And I will find a picture of it and I'll send it. Everyone at home will just have to rewatch the episode and see what I'm talking about. But there is a single curl that drives me literally nuts, poking out of the back of his head. But you know,
All
that
right,
one
Jonah.
scene just tanked it all for you. All right.
Well, I prefer late Jane hair. I think like
Sure.
season 5, 6 hair is like perfect.
So I gave it a 7, and I think for similar reasons, because my head is in the later seasons, and like going back to this one very suddenly, I don't know, that like the curls are like tight but frizzy, like it just like it doesn't feel as refined as later episodes. I did not, however, notice a single curl, so I'm going to have to.
Yeah, I don't think I noticed it either. So, Expanse Lover's analysis is Simon's hair is in tight curls and mostly lacks the sunny blonde highlights and playful curls of previous episodes. This goes along with the seriousness of this episode. Curls are up and off his forehead as if allowing Jane to see more clearly. I give it a 7. It isn't his most attractive look, but that's not what we're looking for this time. All right, favorite lines. My favorite line was Jane at the end when he says, I wish I could, but some things you just can't fix. You needn't be angry. It's just the way of the world.
I picked Lisbon's. If he does anything wrong, if he jaywalks, shoot him.
That was one of our alternate titles, by the way. If he jaywalks, shoot him.
It has to be, I don't think you mean what you say. I think you choose life. But a close second is if we catch Red John, he's not walking anywhere.
I love it.
So I had, when Lisbon says there's always hope, and then Jane says not much, because I just felt like it was his headspace and like very indicative of like, I don't know, like where he kind of like loses me, but I still see his point, like that like moral gray area. So,
all right, Karin, what's the Cho Zinger of the week?
Cho Zinger of the week. Yeah, she's attractive. I'm not looking to get married right now, ma'am. Thank you, though.
He's so polite. So, since this is our season finale, our first season finale episode, Liv actually came up with the idea that we should do like a best of season 1. So, this is our best of the Mentalist season 1. So, we're gonna each like nominate something for 5 different categories. So, best villain, I went with Tommy from Flame Red.
I also said Tommy from Flame Red.
Okay, well, we'll both have Tommy then. I'll say my serious answer was also Tommy, but for the sake of like, I put a funny answer with I really like that mob boss from Red Sauce. I know he's not technically the villain, but his name is Santiago,
Oh,
but
Sunny.
Legia. Yeah, I just thought he was so funny. Like I like a guy who's bad but is also like kind of helpful. So
Okay, so in my frantic 5 minutes to answer these questions, I jotted down, does Sophie Miller count? She drove me crazy.
Oh, if we're gonna go that route, we need to nominate Christina Fry. Oh my god.
Most annoying semi-love interest for Jane per season.
I mean, I can go down with Sophie because she's so unethical and she's so terrible. Like she's like flirting with Jane. Just, all right, so I've got 4. I've got Tommy, I've got Sunny Battaglia, Christina Fry, and Sophie Miller. That's
Okay.
good. So next category is best red herring. I went with Thomas McAllister in Red Hair and Silver Tape because when I first saw that, I was like, oh, I know who that is. That's got to be the bad guy. I was wrong.
I liked when they thought it was the son in Red Rum, but it was actually the father. When that twist happened at the very end was my favorite red herring moment.
So kind of similar. I liked in seeing Red when it turned out to be Clara, because that one really tricked me, and it made me sad that it wasn't intentional. That like she really loved her mother.
I had 2, but I'm gonna go with the Russian mobster in Paint It Red, just because that scene was so much fun with the fake painting heist.
What was his name? R something? Arlov?
Arlov?
Okay, next category is best Jasmine moment.
Did we all pick the same thing for best Jasmine moment?
What did you pick?
Did we?
Yeah, what did you?
I said the trust fall.
Oh,
I didn't.
No,
I didn't.
I didn't pick.
Oh, that's surprising.
I put down the origami delayed jumping frog from the pilot.
I hate to harp on it, but just bring it up 50 times. We know. But, you guys know that I think you choose life. But I will say honorary mention to, I want to see how your face feels when it's smiling.
Oh, yes.
Bloodshot. It is an insane thing to say to your coworker.
Yes.
So my choice was actually the scene between Jane and Lisbon in Red Brick and Ivy when he's telling her about his when he tells her it was a locked room, when she's like, you had a therapist? Yeah. I found that a really powerful scene, and it just sticks out to me. Okay, our next category is the best show zinger.
I did when that guy was like, how am I supposed to know who you are? Like, who's the CBI? And he's like, we do need better brand awareness. That one got me.
And so true. So I chose when the person he was talking to says that he can call and do all this stuff, and Cho says, well, impressive. Best I can get is a pizza.
Okay, Karin, what is yours?
I picked the original one because it's the first one, and he just nailed it right out of the gate. Big bass drum, yeah. Banging your wife like a big bass drum.
Mine is from Carnelian Ink. It's when Cho says, this is a goat turd, 6 months old. All right, and our final category is the best Jane line.
This was hard.
It was.
I know, there's so many good lines. Oh my goodness.
I went with I really like the line about when he's talking about how murder tastes to him in Bloodshot.
Yes.
And he's like, this is not fearful, guilty murders and ammonia, but this is like a clean lemony anger. And I also I think it was mentioned earlier in this episode when she's like, I have a gun, and he's like, I have a gun too, and it's just Lisbon coming out. But yeah, it's hard to pick.
I chose the evergreen Lisbon.
Okay, what about you, Karin?
Oh my goodness. This is not really my favorite, but it's the one that came to mind. It was the men are like toasters, women are more like accordions. I don't know. My husband took accordion lessons, so that line always stands out.
It's like a surprisingly non-slick line from Jane, honestly. like normally he's like very like good with women, and then he just like completely alienates both Lisbon
and I
and
just
Van Pelt.
I love the reactions to it so much. So much.
So I had two. I had a serious one and I had a funny one. The funny one is no business like show business because that just so sticks out to me from season one. And the serious one is from Red Hair and Silver Tape. Is when he's talking to the boy, and he says, "Being sorry is far worse punishment than being dead." That one. That's one that really sticks out to me. He says, "Everybody dies. Very few people ever feel truly sorry for the bad things they've done." That was a very honest answer that he gave the boy, and I really like that scene. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make polls for these, and we're going to have people in the bullpen vote, and we'll report back on what wins.
Right. Woo.
If it's not Tommy in the first category, then I don't know what it is. In the bullpen, I feel like Christina Fry is going to win, though. Like, I just feel like it's a lot of hate to her.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with a twist on our Memory Palace quiz. Okay, we're back, and the twist for our Memory Palace quiz is I'm going to be quizzed. Instead, they're turning the tables around on me, and everybody's come up with 2 questions to ask me, and I'm gonna see how well I do under pressure. Okay, are you ready? Karen's like ready for her revenge.
Write it out.
I can see, like, we have a document. I can see everything that Crystal's taking note of as she's watching the episode. So I looked for all the gaps.
Okay, who's gonna go first?
I'm gonna go last because I have the hard question.
Okay. Question. Let's get question 1 from Donuts then.
Okay, I'll go. Crystal, how much did the skywriting cost?
$1,250.
You got it. Ding, ding, ding.
Okay, question 2. Let's have Liv do one.
Okay, sorry. When Jane was going through the room of the girls, what were the girls dressed as in the picture he picked up?
Devils.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get one more front donuts because Karin wants to go last. So
I'm doubting myself now.
Okay, why does Jane say the wife drinks in the first place?
because of her husband.
Yeah.
Okay, question 4, Liv.
Okay, what did Van Pelt search to find the cut iron property? What database?
Real estate transactions?
You're like, it's like half right. It's the probate courts.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, transaction records.
That's why it took so long to get the results, right? Probate always takes forever.
Overnight search. Okay, Karin.
They're used to dead people.
Okay, Karin. Question 5.
Okay. I'm doubting all my choices, but okay, here we go. How many convenience stores did Cho and Rigsby go to find where the elephant was sold?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm gonna guess 3.
I know. Can I answer it?
Yeah.
They checked 10. It was their 11th store, right?
That's right. Woo.
Karin got me.
When they go to arrest Emma's secret boyfriend, what's the name of the poor deputy who gets beat up?
Duke.
Yes.
Hey, I did pretty good.
You did really good. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Okay, so my surprise is I have bonus questions for you guys.
No, I thought we were off the hook.
No.
Okay.
The way I did too.
Bonus question 1. What is the name of the skywriting company?
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Me. It's Fogarty.
Oh,
Fogarty
yeah. Very good.
skywriting.
Very good. Very
I
good.
wrote that down as a backup question for you.
So funny. Okay, and my second one, we'll make this the last one. What is the address of the farm property?
Oh, it's Sparrow.
It's in my notes, but I'm not gonna look. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't remember.
it's Sparrow Lane. Is it Sparrow Lane? Is it like 17? It's 4 letters. Okay, dang it, never mind.
It's 7645 Sparrow Peak.
Okay, I was almost there.
Oh, that's what you meant. You meant the last word is 4 letters.
Yeah,
Okay,
and the
okay.
number was 4 letters. Or the number was 4 numbers, but it just wasn't quite there.
All right. Oh, that was fun. Okay, do you guys have any last thoughts? We talked so much. We're at
my
like
goodness.
2 hours and 15 minutes.
Are you gonna be able? How long is it gonna be when you edit?
I think maybe we might have to do a part 1 and a part 2.
There you go.
I was wondering if it's possible to have other thoughts on this episode at this point. I'm pretty sure we thought more about it than the writers did.
Oh, no. Okay, if you're enjoying Rom-Com Detectives, please consider taking a minute to leave us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. If you're on Spotify, Reddit, or YouTube, leave us a comment answering our question of the week by telling us what your choices are for Best of Mentalist Season 1. If you'd like to join additional conversations about The Mentalist, you can visit the Mentalist subreddit at reddit.com/r/The Mentalist, and you can join the Mentalist Bullpen Discord server at discord.gg/mentalistbullpen. To contact me and Karin, email us at host@romcomdetectives.com. You can follow us on Instagram, Blue Sky, or Threads at romcomdetectives. If you'd like to ask us a question or tell us your own thoughts about our next episode, you can leave us a voicemail or text message at 1-650-733-XOXO or 9696. This episode of Rom-Com Detectives was recorded on March 1st, 2026. Rom-Com Detectives Mentalist Unit is co-hosted by Crystal Watanabe and Karin Lubbers and is produced by Pico's House. We want to thank our 2 lovely consultants for joining us for this special episode. You guys made it so much fun. Thank you. Don't forget to join us in the bullpen for our special TV Police Q&A this Saturday, March 7 at 1 p.m. Pacific. And if you can't make it, we're probably going to have an upload of that, and we're gonna give the recording to Tim and Owen too, so that they can upload pieces of that for promotion too. So yeah, you guys can look forward to that. But thanks everyone for listening. We'll catch you guys next time for our breakdown of the season 2 premiere, Redemption. Actually, how do you guys say that? Because it's got red in the word, but you don't say it like red. It's not like redemption.
Redemption. Hyphen.
Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.